Right, where I've placed the sides of steel in the mould and with these braces across them, so they're a near enough perfect fit to the contour of the mould and therefore shape of the instrument. So I've got the top underneath now. So what I'm going to do is just draw around the inside so we know the limits of our inside carving, so to speak. So let's get on with that. One thing with this instrument, it's symmetrical, which means you don't have to think too hard about back, front, left, right and whatnot. One of the important things to consider when you're doing a guitar that's not symmetrical is just keeping your mind top, bottom, left, right, back, front. Otherwise you can end up doing some really stupid things like cutting out the front shape for the back and things like that. I've had some devils of guitars to do. I once had a guy. Well, I'm sorry to report there's a major disaster on the video production front by yours truly, pressing the delete button when I shouldn't have done, and unfortunately it covered the carving of the inside of the top. I'm really annoyed with myself because I just deleted the videos just stupidly. Not worth going into that. So what I can do, the bit that disappeared was basically you know, how I start the process. So I'll have to run through it here. Obviously I can't do it again, sort of thing. But this is basically to show how I start hogging out the inside of the top. So basically on the drill press here I've got this bit of wood with this peg sticking up, drill in the clamped in the chuck. Now what I do is I get a rough, say, 1/4 inch spacer, put it on top of this peg and bring the drill down to it, and then adjust these stops here. So basically now when you pull the drill down it stops before the peg. Now what this is, I mean, it's just basically a depth stop. So using this bit of scrap to demonstrate, you know, you've got the guitar top basically like this. Put the, you know, your outside carved side down on there, and then just drill a million holes on the inside. So say this was a section of the top. So we've now drilled down to the stop. I'll do a few holes. So basically now we've drilled down and that drill has stopped roughly a 1/4 inch from the back, and this is a very basic tool I've made. And what this basically does is you have I'll put some markings on here, and like the shallowest marks that much depth, so now if I go through into these holes here, I can say, right, that's nearly up to the second mark, so I can press it down to the same on there and look and see how you know, the thickness I've got, kind of thing. Now, I drill the top, inside of the top, down to about quarter of an inch thickness, which is plenty to start off with, and then finish off with planes and stuff like that. I mean, I've got some of the original video remaining, and I'm sure I can pull some still shots in there to some previous projects, so you can see what's happening. I'm just really angry with myself. I mean, I'm ahead of the game with the thing. I mean, I've got much more of it built than is shown on the videos yet. It's just time to edit the videos, sort of thing. But it's just excruciatingly annoying having that problem. But anyway, hopefully it won't take too much away from the you know, the build. I mean, it's just carving at the end of the day, and this is the secret to doing the inside kind of thing. So you've got to get the outside, you know, finished to near enough where you want it. So, you know, the holes you drill through are obviously accurately based on the outside contour, sort of thing. So where the side curves round, you know, you drill again, and you still keep that quarter inch thickness there. So a shame. And I didn't. I mean, like I say, I'm much further along. I've also carved the back as well, and I thought, oh well, I've got all the, I don't want to repeat all that, so I didn't take any video of doing that, which is sincere apologies about it, but we'll get back on track. Thank you very much. Yeah, I know I need a really good tidy up, but I've just been trying to knock through this carving on this top, and yeah, usual story, takes ages and ages and ages, and you don't seem to get anywhere. But I think after today we're getting in the ballpark now. So it's been the usual, just whatever tool does the job, really. I've got me 3 chisels there, and I will say I'm totally devoid of the ability to sharpen anything. My best ever lottery win could be daily deliveries of brand new chisels every day. That would just be fantastic. So I've got my little plane that I've been using, and I've got these planes that were cheapo buys off eBay, but from China. But I mean, I must admit that they're not bad. Of course, my grinding thing, and yeah, I do prefer to shave the thickness down rather than you know, grind and sand, sort of thing. I don't know. I over the years, my nose just gets really upset by dust. So I've been living in a mask today mostly, and eye protection again. But here we go. Look, we are getting somewhere, I think. It's actually looking, you know, hollowed out and stuff now, and we're getting down to, you know, down to our quarter of an inch. You can still see we've got the bottom of the drill holes quite, you know, quite prominent still. So we're down to that. We're getting down to that quarter of an inch. So we're getting in the ballpark, really. One thing I will say, that a lot of, you know, you read a lot of books on, I've read a lot of books on acoustic instruments, and quite a lot about Stradivarius violins as well. And you know, okay, I'm not greatly experienced in building like arch tops, but I really can't sign up to all this tap tuning stuff. You know, you get these guys, they pick up a chunk of wood, just take this bit of plywood, and they're like, oh, that sounds great. Well, you know what, that sounds about the same as this as well. Oh, that actually rings a little bit, but yeah, it's a mystery to me. maybe if you've built 100 instruments you get a bit more of an ear for it, but what I actually find really helps is when you start like thinning it down and you're kind of, you know, you're playing in this area down here, and you know, you've got your hand on here and you can actually feel the vibration go across, and as you get it down to thickness, then you can just feel the thing like moving and flexing and whatnot, and that's how I seem to pick up more of my thought as to whether it's working well. I will talk about it a lot more later on when we kind of get into carve its acoustic qualities kind of thing, although this is a very unusual shape, so I don't think we're going to be you know, we're not going to get any fantastic tone out of it, but we may as well try our best. So yeah, I hope you agree. It's, you know, it's getting down to somewhere now where you know, we're getting a bit of a bell sound out of it. So yeah, I'm quite pleased, and that's another day done, and thank you very much. Just before I pack in for the day, you know, I can't spend the whole day doing carving sort of thing, so I have got the backboard done and glued up now, ready to do the whole thing over again. So we can see that you know, just managed to squeeze out what we need out of that, so that's all good. This was one of the shelves from my dad's house again, a mahogany shelf, and it's actually quite a really light bit of wood, which is really nice. The only frustration was actually having to thin it down to about 18mm, and I'll show you why. Yeah, and there's my hard working planer with this is why I really do need a damn good tidy up, but I wanted to get all the shitty jobs done, like planing and thicknessing, and like I say, that's why my mask has been on all day. But yeah, that needs a tidy up, but well, it's all part of the instrument building and that sort of thing, and good with the bad. So yeah, speak to you very soon, and thank you for watching. Hi there again. Yeah, it's a nice day today. I spent all day yesterday cleaning out the workshop, and oh, so nice to come in this morning and not be welcomed by a pile of junk everywhere. So it's a good day. Well, I've been busy carving this top, and I obviously haven't recorded every second of it, or you'd be here for years. But we got the top of it roughly to size, and now I've been carving out the back and getting it roughly down to thickness. I thought it would be worth describing you know, what constitutes a good top kind of thing. Basically, if you take one of my guitars, now I'm no expert at this. I've made a few arch top guitars, but basically I see this area in the middle as, if you like, being the workhorse of the top. Now the top has two functions. One, to transfer the vibrating string vibration, if you like, to the top, and then into the sound box of the guitar, if you like, to produce a sound, a bit like a mechanical speaker. And the second is to support the strings, so it has to be strong enough to support the tensions of the strings pushing down on the top, but it also has to be you know, bouncy enough to take the vibration and transfer it into the body. Now, like I say, I see this center area around here as being the kind of workhorse of the top. This is the part that picks up underneath the bridge the vibration of the strings. Then there's this area around the outside, which I see as the kind of the engine room, if you like, of the top. Now this area is known as the recurve because of its shape. It actually curves down a little bit into the top, and this is where the top is at its thinnest and will typically be around 1/8 of an inch thick, 3 millimeters, whereas the center will be a bit thicker. Now you would probably think that it would be a good idea to have the top as thin as possible. That's not generally the case. Well, it's not the case at all actually. If the top is too flappy, it'll be a bit like a loose string, and you know, you won't get the top absorbing any energy. It'll just be too flappy, sort of thing. So you want the top in the center to be thicker, and that is typically around like 3/16 of an inch, 4 mil, something like that, just over, well, 4 millimeters, but it all depends on the wood. And then as the top comes out to the sides, it thins down. So like I say, this recurve area bit to kind of, you know, this acts as like the hinge that the top rotates, sort of bends on, kind of thing. So that's what you're kind of aiming at. It's we seem to have here like suggestion. I mean, again, it's got no dimensions in it, which is really annoying, for like thickness of the top, and like in the middle it's about 4 millimeters, something like that, perhaps a fraction less, and then slimming down to like 2.5 at the edge, something like that, or at the recurve area. So I guess, you know, I haven't got any other information, so I guess we'll follow that and see where we go. What I actually find is the most useful when I'm carving a top is as you carve it, you can feel the thing bouncing. You know, as you plane it, you can feel the top like starting to bounce underneath your hand and stuff, and get quite flexible. So I think, you know, I'm going to carry on and neaten this all up, and you know, just follow the thicknesses on the plan basically, and see, you know, as I'm doing it, whether if I feel I'm getting a bit thin with it, I'll obviously stop. But you know, yeah, more of the same, I think. Well, probably another hour of my life with planes, chisels, files and things like that. I'm getting down to the finished thickness on this now, and basically evening it out. I'm down to, across this area here, about 4 millimeters, which is still, you know, it's still on the thick side. But what I'm mindful of is this is actually a flat top and not a curved. I mean, if you've got an arch, it's a lot stronger than a flat piece, so I want to leave it on the thicker side. But what I'm going to do now is, I mean, this is all seat of the pants stuff really, because I mean, this, you know, it doesn't resemble an arch top guitar really. I'm just making it like that. But what I want to do is, when I was talking about the recurve area being thinner to allow it to, the top to bounce and flex with the string vibration, I want to bring these edge areas right down to probably just a bit under 3 millimeters around here and around here, and that's what I'll be working on next. So it will be about 4 mil in the center, running down to 3 mil at the edge. And I just think that if I put the thin the thin area just inside this curve here, you know, so it's at the top there, then I don't know, we'll find out at the end, what it sounds like. I've got no idea, so, but that's what I'm going to go. I think one of the almost like forgotten tools when like carving is like cabinet scrapers. I've got a set of them, an old set now, but frequently like overlooked. I mean, are really, really useful. You know, they give a finish that's good enough to go straight over with varnish. Brilliant things. I mean, for doing this little recurve in the side, I can just sit here and I've just given that a few scrapes. I mean, okay, I've got a long way to go yet. You can still see chisel marks in it, but just so useful, you know. And they're not an expensive tool, and they're not difficult to sharpen either. So they're another nice asset to have in your armoury. Well, I think I'm about there at damn well last. So we've got the carving done inside, like I say. I'm around 4mm at the centre, probably just a bit under, and 3mm around the edge, and also like I've got some obviously final sanding to do on the outside, and that will thin it down a little bit more. So I'm kind of happy with that. I don't want to go any thinner, because it's a flat, really a flat top and not an arch top. It's a long job, obviously, and we've got to do it all again for the back. You know, it's a bit depressing, but you know, as you get down to thickness and stuff like that, you get a bit zen-like, and you can't resist fettling it until it looks nice. It's just the way it goes. It's a pain in the arse at the beginning when you're just hogging out wood, but when you get close to the final result, you get a bit obsessed in getting it right. So the next job we've got is internal to these guitars, on the underside of the top. You've got to consider bracing. Bracing is basically like you know, support struts, if you like. They serve two purposes. One is for additional strength, again string pressure, to keep the top stable. The second time is just to distribute the vibration of the strings from the bridge to the rest of the top, to make sure it's all vibrating. I'll just nip off and get that plan again at the F5. Now you can see here this plan of the inside. You can see these. You've got the bass brace and the treble brace, and what these, you know, like I say, what these basically do. So you've got the bridge will span the two braces, and the feet of the bridge sit on the brace, so they'll take the string vibration over the whole top. Now, okay, this is a standard looking thing, but you know, you can see that, you know, you've basically got the, you know, the bridge down here. So if you take, you know, the distance from the supports of the bridge, something like that, and you put them where they're meant to be, you know, the feet for the bridge are going to be well over the braces, so pressing down on that. So that's what I'm going to aim for in the one we're doing. but right, we just dump this on the top. You can roughly mark the position of the bridge inside. And that's about the width of the bridge on the F5 drawing. So it's about 100 millimeters wide, the bridge, probably just a bit over. So we're actually looking at the feet of the bridge in somewhere around here. Now, problem we've got is that obviously I can't, you know, I don't just want to put a straight start again. There's two ways that are generally accepted for bracing a archtop instrument. One is to have what's called X bracing, where the braces go, if you like, from lower bout to upper front bout and lower bout to upper front bout, and they cross over somewhere about just behind the sound hole here. So the brace comes across and goes under the foot of the guitar there and there, somewhere like there. Or there's parallel bracing, which runs just straight back to front. They have their little nuances. I think they say that X bracing adds a bit more treble or something or whatever. Yeah, it's minimal. You can choose what you want. So with this, I don't really know what I'm going to do. I mean, I want the bracing to go up into the lyre arms to transfer the, I guess springy this is now, to come up into the lyre arms, so it transfers the vibration up here. Now, I think what I'm going to try and do, I mean, I can't really put a straight brace would only get me up to here, and I want to go further up, kind of thing. So I was wondering about actually like bending, trying to, what I think I'll do in the first instance is try and bend a brace. I mean, yeah, we're in uncharted territory here, kind of thing. But I've actually seen that done on a hurdy-gurdy to get around the wheel of the hurdy-gurdy, and the builder said it was very successful. So I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to try and get a brace running from I'm going to try and get a brace running up like up this line here. Now, going to be a voyage of discovery again. With braces, it's best to use the same wood as the top is from. So if you've got a spruce top, use a spruce brace. in addition to that, you want it quarter sawn. So, I mean, I've got some scrappy bits here of the same wood that I've used for the top. See if there's a bit of a more obvious grain pattern on it. Yeah, here we go. It's not perfectly quarter sawn, but you can see you've got the grain lines running down here. So what I'm going to try and do is cut some strips from this, some sort of width. I'll copy the F5 mandolin, see if we can steam bend this stuff, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't work, well, we'll have to think of a plan B. So let me get chopping these down, and we'll see where we go. Well, I've got the braces cut and planed, much the same like fashion as you know, everything else, plane to thickness. So, and I've started trying to bend one, which is not doing too bad actually. So I'll be continuing to do that and see if we can get a good bend on it. Well, I must say I'm really pleased, quite surprised. Look at that. Quite a nice bend there. You can see I had to get it really hot. There's some light scorching inside there, but there's my line I wanted to get to, and pretty near perfect. I'm really pleased with that. So let's get on and bend the other one now. I mean, that's a bit of a result, I think. So here's the second bit. The kind of secret seems to be just to let it get like really warm. I'm using my copper plate just on here, just to you know, the longer you have it on there, you can just feel the wood getting slightly softer, though I'm putting quite a lot of pressure on this. You know, it almost seems impossible when you start and you think, oh, am I wasting my time? But you know, we're starting getting a little bit of a bend in it, so you know, just persevere. I'll get back to you when it's done. Well, that was pretty pleasing, an unexpected success. So we've got our plan A right for the braces now. It looks quite cool, that actually. So I don't know, coffee time and celebrate, or press on. You know what? I think it's coffee time. So I'm really happy about that. I didn't expect to be able to bend those. I've bent somewhere around 4mm wood before, to go around the band, around the rim of a hurdy-gurdy wheel, but wasn't quite expecting that success there. I mean, I've got a lot of char in there, but that doesn't matter. I think, you know, having a one-piece brace going around there, I think even in my basic knowledge of building musical instruments, I think that's going to be a real bonus. That I think that's going to carry the vibration from the bridge all the way up these arms. You know, if I had to start putting joints in bracing and stuff like that, I don't think that would have worked so well. So I think we're on the right track there. So have a cup of coffee, and get back to it afterwards. Getting quite exciting now. So, good stuff. Here's the brace where I've decided we want it. Now we've got to make a really good join between the top and the brace. Good way of doing this is get a little washer, a sharp pencil, put it against there, and then run just run around, and that will give you a good line of where you've got to shave stuff off from. Not one of my own genius inventions, nothing is, but seen it before, and now you can just trim it down to that line and should get a reasonable joint. So there we go. Not so easy on this, but on a guitar top you can, and to be honest this sandpaper's too coarse for it anyway, but I'm kind of really happy with that. You know, I've got no problems with that. I mean, yeah, spot on. So yeah, I love it. Really stoked with that. So got that side done. Now we can look at this side. Trim that off just before the halfway point. We've got a bit of grain action. You can see where the burn marks are we've got a bit of grain action on the corner there, but that's not gonna be included in anything because the braces are going to be thinned down. So luckily we'll get rid of that there. It's actually quite a little local lump in the corner there, so instead of doing the brace, I'm going to just trim the top thickness there. See how that looks. I'll get back to you when this is ready for gluing up. Oh, you can see we've got the braces glued in now. It's about an hour to get the joints good with the top, but you can see we've got pretty even squeeze out all the way around here as well. Coming down to the bridge here. So I think they're actually in okay. I was quite anxious to get them glued up. Ideally I'd probably waited until tomorrow, but I didn't want the braces that we'd bent to move. They'll be severely thinned down in height and made to look nice, sort of thing, but yeah, they're just the starting point. There's a lot of work to be done on those yet, but yeah, looking good now. I didn't expect to get that done today, so that's quite nice. And yeah, things are moving on, so back again whenever.